curious, how do you started with rigging? Because this is a career path that not too many people choose, or
Mm.
I don't know, sidetracks to end being a I don't know if it's a choice or uh, life's happening, and how do you ended up being like a rigger?
Actually, I mean, I think it's one of those paths a lot of rigger took. So I started out with animation. Um, I'm with the same company for almost six. No, I started in 2006 at the company where I am now, and I started there as an animator. And I animated. Well, I was solid, but I was not the best animator in town. Um, but I liked it anyway. The rigs we had to work with, they were like, I just didn't like
Mm-hmm.
how they worked, and that's was the point when I started to dig into that, and I found myself at a point where I recognized, that's even a lot more fun than animating. So that was, I think, a lot of riggers did that path. So I do
I did.
animate from time to time, right now as well. The last project we did, I did layout animation, so it's always cool to get back to
Nice.
animation, to find stuff and rigs you don't like, because if you have to work on that
Uh,
a whole day, you look at it differently. Yeah, but the last years it wasn't that much rigging gigs at our studio, but I did more pipeline and scripting stuff.
oh,
So
cool. So
yeah.
you before we was talking like the place you work, your studio, it's not really big, but you like uh grow in like people on the team or string
Hmm.
depending of the production, but the core team it's relatively small, so you have the chance to
Yeah.
do many stuff there, not only
Yeah,
rigging.
exactly. So if you need somebody who models something and there is no modeler, I mean, you have to jump in and model.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, my expertise, it's mostly rigging and scripting and pipelining. And if other things need to be done and there isn't anybody
Mm-hmm.
else, I'll just chip in. But normally it's rigging and scripting I do.
And how did you learn like the coding? You self-taught, or do you have like previous studies that help you to transition to rigging or to start in rigging?
No, it's self-taught at all. So I had a technical study.
Mm-hmm.
I'm originally from Austria, so I studied in Salzburg,
Mm-hmm.
and it was an engineering degree I did there.
Uh-huh.
So I have a slight technical background,
Mm-hmm.
but not in any scripting or development
Mm-hmm.
things. Um, but I always liked math,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's even funny that it took me so long to recognize this.
Oh, really?
But I think when back when I was at the university, um, and I I was friends with other on the campus. There were different majors,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the majors had quite a big amount of 3D animation, and they were working with Maya.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a few friends there back then,
Mm-hmm.
and so they showed me the software. I was like, I like that, and so that was the reason I started with
Oh,
playing with
cool.
Maya. And I think a lot of people, when they start with Maya, it's like, okay, I want to bring characters to life, and that's the reason I started with animating. And
Uh,
yeah, I took the more technical
yeah.
path after then. And because we talked about small companies, I mean, that's one of the points I really like. I mean, you can evolve there. I started as an animator, and then
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to my boss that I'd like to dig deeper into the rigging
Mm-hmm.
things, and he was like, "Yeah, yeah, that would be good if we have somebody in our company who can do that, because beforehand it was always external stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's why I took that road in the end. That was,
I,
yeah.
yeah, for me, one of the things that you commented at the beginning is like you didn't know that you like math or that much or something, and that's something that relies also to me. Like when I was studying at like the will be equivalent like high school, something like that, there was a lot of math, and it was forced in a I would say in a very strict math way where they teach you this and they don't show you any application or any like value more than just learning it and do the
Mm,
exam and prove that was the so. And then of course years after I rediscover math and very
yeah.
basic stuff, and then I find the application to in 3D how it works, and I rediscovered like it was way more fun, and also like a much more entertainment when you find it like a visual approach to the math.
Hmm.
I don't know, like some just understanding some like the same thing, but it's completely different at the same time. Did it
Yeah,
happen that to
definitely.
you, like when you
Yeah,
find?
definitely. I mean, if you try to rig a, I don't know, for example, a tire, and you need to make it move automatically, and it's like, okay, that's math. I mean, all is math in 3D and Maya. So that's the point where I was like, okay, it's like solving a riddle
Mm-hmm.
over and over,
Mm-hmm.
and I really enjoy that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think those kind of riddle solving was the thing that took me from rigging to scripting. Then, it's like
Mm.
if you start rigging
Yes.
and you do all the stuff by hand, it's just annoying.
Oh.
And I would call myself as a pretty lazy person. So if I have to do something 3 times by hand, it's just, I don't, it's,
Yeah.
it's just annoying.
I
Yeah.
agree
And
with
then,
that. And I really like, especially when I discover like when you first learn, for instance, the math, it's more like formula paper and pen and paper and things like that. And it's not, and these latest years, like I'm talking like only a few years ago or recently, like even this year, I was trying to learning some new stuff in math, and all this when you have this visual intuition or there is some channels in YouTube that they do super great explaining kind of complex things in a visual way, and it for me makes more sense. It's like completely like blowing my mind. Oh, it's this. Oh, I get it.
yeah.
It's just, but they don't show that much, unless I don't know in engineering when you go, because I didn't make any like that, but like the when I studied it was more didn't focus on the visual at
Mm,
all. It was just
mm.
crunching numbers without any sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And how about you? Are you scripting? Yeah. Oh well, yeah. I mean, you are doing the MGear stuff. Is it that what you like more, or the rigging part? What's your?
Uh, yeah, good question. I think I like both part.
Mm-hmm.
I really, it's like what you were saying for the small company that you can change. In my case, it's I will say it's not small company,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a bit more niche in terms
Mm-hmm.
of what I change, but at the same time I like to change between like pure rigging or prototyping,
Mm-hmm.
then finding ways to simplify or reuse or redo this by creating tools or automatizations that will carry on this new like research or things. And
Yeah.
then and also I really like the part of character, the artistic part, like deformation and appealing, things like that.
Yeah.
I'm not a good modeler, but I really like to lose my mind in this
Yeah.
I don't know how to say, little things.
Mm-hmm.
And for coding, I am by any means I'm not really good at coding. I think I'm more like a slow like person, but when I like the problem solving zone when you get in that. and you
Hmm.
realize that past 3-4 hours, and oh no.
Yeah. It's even worse with coding than with rigging. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
this time
yeah, the warp, time warping.
warp. You
Yeah.
just got in, and it's like, okay, well, it's midnight now. What happened?
And passing the years, I at the beginning I tried few times. I'm talking about span of maybe 20 years.
Hmm.
A few tries I did to learn. It was not the right way, I will say. I don't know if that happened to you, but I tried to learn the wrong language in a wrong way, and it was kind of a impossible barrier for me few times.
A real language or Mel?
Yeah, real. Like I try like the first I tried was C++. That was a big
Oh,
no.
okay. Well,
Then I enroll in a kind of like government like class. Like I don't know how it's called. Like when the government like does like these free classes for
hmm,
to professional, and it was Java, but pure Java.
okay.
And I just didn't make click on my head.
Yeah,
And well, finally I find Python, and then I when it click it, and
yeah.
and it was, I think I did Rafael Fragapan, you know him,
Hmm.
of course.
Yeah.
I did his class on CG Society, was there, or CG Talk back then. I don't remember the, CG Society, the .com, the.
Yeah. Was it a Python class or
Yeah,
did you make?
yeah, I did one with Python and Softimage
Hmm.
many years back,
Hmm.
and that one was the one that really
Okay.
kick-started my like, and it was probably one of the first. They did several rounds of this class. I think I was in the first class,
Hmm.
but probably took me 2 years to finish the videos. Like I was completely
Okay.
like oddball.
Yeah. But did you code in this period of time then, or did you just?
Oh yeah, it was, you know
Okay.
many years ago. I don't remember, but it was. I remember I couldn't follow the pace of the class at the beginning.
Hmm.
Like really, I was like completely like dropout, like kind of
Okay.
guy. But instead of just dropping the ball completely, I just at my pace, like slowly catching up.
Mm.
And yeah. So I think if I learn it, everybody can. Honestly, it's.
Yeah, I think it helps a lot. I mean, even for if you're just animating and you know some kind of Python snippets to make your life easier, it's worth it.
Mm, mm,
I always wonder how many people just just don't want to touch it at all because I
mhm.
mean it can
Yeah.
save you so
Yes.
much time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now, well, of course, I'm yeah, I have the other. Sometimes I want to code everything, and that's
Hmm.
not good either. So you need to
Yeah,
balance.
yeah. Then you lose track about all the artistic things.
Y-
If I try to build a rig from just code, it's like you're so proud, or I'm so proud about, wow, that kind of automation. That's cool. And sometimes I lose the bigger picture. Like, well, in the
Yes.
end, it's about nice deformation, and nobody cares what's beneath it
Yeah.
and how
Sadly,
you
and
did it.
yes, and no, for me it also happened. Like I'm trying to do like personal projects when my little spare time when I can
Hmm.
find it. And I don't know. I was doing like I'm doing one like I learned XGen, and I didn't like the default, well, the XGen core, so I used the
Hmm.
interactive grooming. But the interactive grooming, after testing, I like to use curves, but the curves it's like kind of bare curve naked, no tools there. So I decided to make my own little like helper tool to combine with XGen, so to get the best, or kind of. So instead of focusing on my short film, I spent like 4 months just doing this tool to make the hair of characters that I could do it straight. and it will took me less time than just going and doing the tool. But now I have the tool, I
Yeah.
can do hair really fast. But
But you learned a lot of things about hair, I guess, then.
yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know. I just learned that it's easy to get in a tangent in projects.
Yeah.
But no, it's cool. Yeah, I think it's next time because I have the tool, I can do it faster. So this
Mm-hmm.
is I think if you want to do things, you need to make it easier for you, like you say. Like if
Yeah.
you make it very complex each time, it's you're not gonna do stuff. So I think it's a good thing. But yeah, it's dangerous because you go never is perfect, so you can spend all your whole life doing tools and don't
Yeah,
do the
that's
thing.
true. Yeah, we are on the horizon at our studio. There will be some kind of Blender project
Mm. Mm-hmm.
in within this year, and we were thinking about doing some small development
Mm-hmm.
project in Blender.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the same discussion. You think, oh, well, just make it big, and you don't have so much time, so you have to really just
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of story so that it's fun,
Mm-hmm.
and one tiny character, so it's fun to work on
Mm-hmm.
that, and just make it a small clip and finish it. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know
it's
how many projects out there started and never.
yeah. I was trying to get a poster just to put behind my this wall to say done is better than perfect.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Yeah.
I think it's one. Yeah, it's right. Recently, it's been my kind of like you say uh and my English it's failing me. Um, my good my go-to phrase or something like just
Mhm.
do it, do it,
Mhm.
and next time will be better. But just finish the stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it's hard. Yeah, to finish the stuff. And so you interesting. So you also learning Blender. How is your Blender
Well,
experience?
I can navigate. So we are just at the beginning. I did focus in the first to be able to customize it a little. So I went to Blender with the pipeline
Mm-hmm.
view because I'm currently implementing RAS at our studio,
Mm-hmm.
the environment
Yes.
software. So that was like, okay, just throw Blender in there and try to
Mm-hmm.
get it running. So that was the reason I made the pipeline path to
Mm-hmm.
Blender first. Well, I do like the UI. I do like the look and feel, but it's just, I mean, I feel like I'm starting animation or
Yeah.
3D all over again, because you open up the software and you're like, okay, I have no idea how I should
Uh,
just pan the camera and stuff like that. So I
you
think
have
if you come over this hill,
yeah. You have
yeah,
a Maya mode, well, like standard, industry standard thing. I
yeah.
and then it's like Maya kind of style.
But I had a lot of people warning me about that, and
Ah, don't do that. Don't
they
do that.
yeah, let's. And so I listened. Well, I tried to listen. So
Uh,
perhaps it's good to leave
uh,
it like it's intended to. And if I'm more, if I'm feeling safe in the software, then I just make
yeah,
it my way or something like that.
yeah. I'm kind of agree, and at the same time, I disagree. I rather stick with my muscle memory,
Mm-hmm.
and then indeed I because I mm, the- now it's 50-50, but the beginning of my career was almost Softimage 3D,
Mm-hmm.
Softimage XSI until almost uh, he's dead. And I think I used Maya a few times there and there, and other software like Max or Motion Builder. But um, in when I changed to Maya, the people told me the same,
Mm-hmm.
and but I didn't. I just prefer to. configure everything to something that I can uh like keep my muscle memory and everything. And I did the same for Softimage when I was doing both at the same time. I just changed some ways on Softimage so I can unify everything.
Okay.
And for me, I think it depends. If you have to work for long periods of time overlapping different softwares, I find maybe yeah you lose something on the trade-off, but um, it's less stressing
Yeah.
to fight against your muscle memory, I would say.
Yeah.
But it's
Perhaps
my
this first
opinion.
step, right? I mean, that you come into the software. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was always Maya only, so it's more. Well, I did one project
Mm,
in my internship
mm,
year where we used Motion Builder, but the rest was
mm,
more or less only Maya for me
mm,
as a 3D animation software. So
yeah.
it's the first time
Mm,
I'm doing a switch now. It's which is, well, no
well,
switch, but
yeah.
getting my hands dirty on this.
Yeah, normally what I did, I mean, my experience with Maya, it's when I didn't find the hotkey or something. So, well, now in Maya it's easier. You have the hotkey editor, so you just change to the default one, check
Hmm.
where is it, fall back to mine, and decide where I put my key. So it's
Yeah,
a bit that you do it once and you don't find the muscle memory. But I heard that Blender is very hotkey oriented, many things.
yeah. It's everything is hotkey, and
Mm.
I installed it on a laptop I have,
Mm-hmm.
and then I recognized that they even use the numpad hotkeys.
Ah, yeah.
So without a numpad, it's like, okay.
I don't have numpad. I
No, so you can't use Blender. I mean, you can just.
I don't I don't care. No, I can, sure. Well, I
Yeah,
did.
sure.
I have it installed, and I sometimes I use it for specific things.
Hmm.
Like they have some nice stuff that I like to say. I don't use it because like I don't have any project that they requires to use it,
Mm.
and I have many things to do, so I can just more like a pragmatic approach. The day that they
Yeah.
tell me you need to go below there, just jump and do it like you did.
Yeah, that I mean that was the same with me. I just stick to Maya because I didn't need to do anything else. But now with the project on the horizon, it's like, woo,
Mm,
it's fun to see
yeah.
a newer approach to DCC than Maya has. I mean,
Mm.
Maya is she's old.
I kind of like Maya, and I mean, being a soft image guy, and maybe some people is gonna wants to kill me now when I say that. Soft image, it was really great. I still have my license kicking around there.
Hmm.
The thing is, everything has a good and bad things, and Blender the same. So every software has its, and when you start playing around, unless I don't know every software for sure, but I don't like it now. I don't like everything for any software. So I
Mm.
like this from this software, then from this software. And if you have one main application that you use like 90% of your time, you, or if was the only thing you ever met, and then so you don't know better, so you're happy. And this is what
Mm.
happened with me with Softimage. I was completely happy in my world. And now if I go Softimage, I don't like some stuff. If I go Maya, I don't like some stuff. But I found Maya, yep, like it works well for, especially for what I do, like what we do,
Yeah.
the rigging, animation stuff, things like that. I think it's no better software at this moment. There's serious contenders, and everybody's like high, how you say, rising the sticks. You say that,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's working nice, and I never been more efficient in rigging in soft image than I'm now in Maya, for instance, things
Hmm.
like that. And but Blender, I did learn how to rig in Blender a few years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought,
Yeah. So it's like you would just start all over again then.
yeah. Don't say anybody.
No, no, no. Nobody's listening, I guess. So that's okay. Yeah.
Uh, so, and did
Yeah,
you
but
start with that, with rigging?
pardon?
With rigging, no, you didn't touch anything yet on rigging on Blender.
No, 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 I didn't. It's just really a recent development that we want to look into Blender. So perhaps if we do another podcast in a year and a half or something, perhaps I can
Yeah.
tell wonderful stories and really horrible stories about Blender then. But now
It's a,
it's just Maya with
it's
me.
a, and you, I mean, you had you was telling me that you developed this modular rigging system also in
Yeah.
Maya, and
Mm-hmm.
you also using kind of like a data centric approach or like
Mm-hmm.
in the same lines. And I'm just curious if we can talk maybe a little bit about that,
Sure.
because I knew your work
Mm-hmm.
from um is this short film or you did the rigging this character that is this kids with this dress. I think it's in your reel. And
A short movie?
yeah, that was on this platform. I don't remember the name of the
Oh,
platform.
Artella. Yeah, then it's
Yes,
Dual. Yeah, then it's Dual.
yes,
Yeah.
Duel. And I remember when Artella, I didn't know you there back then,
Mm-hmm.
but I was playing around with Artella. I remember watching that I don't think it was finished when I saw it, but
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching the rigging breakdowns and everything. I was thinking, oh, this is really nice, short, and I don't know if you ever I don't know if it's finished or not, but later when I found your demo reel later, I said, oh, was a rig that was
Yeah,
that
yeah,
one
yeah.
super cool because I really remember that one.
Cool. Yeah, I did the humanoid, the biped
Mm.
rigs on that, and I did that with the modular rigging system
So is
I
that was
developed.
that one? Oh, cool.
Yeah, yeah. And I started developing that in 2014, so it was, it was my first big Python project I
Hmm.
wanted to tackle, and I was like, okay, let's do this. So I also wanted to completely rewrite it
Hmm.
during my parental break,
Oh,
uh, but didn't make it because I had no time. But perhaps we can
that's the reason because there is
can
a parental break because
yeah.
it's a really you need the time for stuff.
Yeah, I didn't make anything, but just handling the kid. But I think that's all right. Um, but I can just share my screen and
Yes, please.
have a look at the at. I can't
Oh.
show you anything live, but I have some things online. So um, just a really really quick and basic overview, because we were talking about the data centric things. Um, More or less, it's pure Python, and I have a bunch of modules for the different rigging parts, like an ARM module, and this one can be inherited by the lag module, for example, so that if it's using the same IK/FK setup, you just create the ARM model, inherit it in the lag model, and build upon of that. And those models are used then in the rig
Mm-hmm.
template, which for sure gets inherited from some kind of blueprint template, which has all the basic methods in there, and you just overload your stuff so that you can make your character work. And you build your rig after that. Perhaps I can just show you some kind of example code for one part of the. Oh, that's a mess here. Just open in the window. Can you see that? Is that readable?
Yes, unless for me. I hope it's in the recording also readable.
Yeah, so it's just you have your rig system and you create your different modules and pipe in your attributes for that, and later on you can use those classes which are returned to do other stuff and use the information which is stored in there. So I mean, I think it's more or less a pretty basic Python way of doing such things. And if you first build your rig, then I go in and do the skinning and stuff like that, and export it in different ways.
In this game.
Skinning, it's always NG skinning for me because I
Yes.
hated skinning and then I loved skinning just
Yes.
because of that tool.
Yes. Totally
Deformer,
agree.
yeah, Deformer, I'm pretty sure I saw it on one of your recordings that you're using Shape as well. So
Yes, from Ingo. It's
yeah,
really
he's
great.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
think it's the best money ever invested on
yeah,
plugins. Well,
definitely.
NG skins and shapes. It's a must.
It's really a must. I mean, I don't know how I could work without it, more or less. So, well, I mean, it's not really. Is it data centric if you export shapes and mel? I don't know. I mean, what you get out if you export from shapes, you have the mel script, which just reduce the setup for you. And then I created a tool by myself to handle set-driven keys, mostly for the face rig, because I do enjoy working like a joint-based setup.
Oh,
and use
nice.
A bunch of set-driven keys to
Wow.
to handle and
Yeah, I always found it. Yeah, I never tried to do it. Like I always scare me to do like a facial, like only with joints. I don't know.
yeah, it's but it's on the other hand, it's a really nice way to make it by script then, because
Yes, you can.
if you can rely on certain things and do your setup pretty standard for whatever character it is, more or less, and use if I'm getting blend shapes for expressions or something like that, I do the basic setup of the face with the handles, store the script I have. Perhaps I can show. Yeah, I can show you that. Just that we are not talking about.
So you do this like the basic with your joint setup, and you get the plane shapes from there, and then you convert to plane shapes.
Exactly. I'm not sure why I opened PyCharm now.
PyCharm is always nice to see.
Yeah, that's true. I wanted to open up Maya. I love Res, by the way. That's the reason I.
Yeah, I have to. Well, at the office, of course, we have like a pipeline team that does all the work for us. But at home, I do have like a horrible bot or command lines with to set up my environment, and depending on the project, I edit by hand everything. It's
yeah,
not,
that was my approach as well beforehand. And then I learned res, and it was like, oh, it's so nice. It's really nice. Um, so what I meant, well, that's one of an example of
Mm,
the face rig I did. It's not finished, and so it has no blend chips or something on it.
mm-hmm,
But normally, if I would, I get an blend shape from an artist with, I don't know, some laughing.
mm-hmm,
I can't show it live, but I can store this value with the click of a button.
mm-hmm,
So I have an attribute, I don't know, you call it laugh.
mm-hmm,
So I set this attribute to 1. I store this setup, and in the background, the set-driven keys are set.
mm-hmm.
And then I can put the corrective blend chip then on it, more or less.
Mm, I see.
So that's the approach I like, because what I enjoy about this, do you know how is it called? Brian Tyndall, the guy who made this iPad book about the
Yes, yes,
free
I
curve
know.
setup.
The Art of Moving Points.
Yeah. So I really enjoy that.
Mm-hmm,
If you put this value on -1,
mm-hmm,
you can just put everything back to zero it out. If you put, it's always the same values
mm-hmm.
wherever you use it. So if you
That's nice.
open
But
up
you did with the joints, so everything here.
yeah,
Skinning.
this is just joints based, yeah.
Uh,
And
I'm curious, how do you move the joints it's like a position or it's a rotating, sliding on top of surface? Because it looks really, really like smooth and transition between
yeah,
the
there's
curvature.
more or less there's one NURB surface
Mm-hmm,
underneath it, and the setup for the lips and the eyes, it's more or less the same.
mm-hmm,
So it's hierarchy of NURB surfaces
mm-hmm.
to get the different shapes here.
Um, yeah, but the book,
Um,
if the people doesn't know, it's indeed I bought the one iPad just to buy the book
mhm,
back when he was released. It was
yeah.
the excuse to get an iPad, I guess.
Yeah, I borrowed an iPad. I don't have one, but I borrowed it
That was
just to,
wiser than mine.
yeah, yeah. But I don't know. I really like that approach that
Mm,
you have only 3 curves for most of the facial stuff,
yes.
and you can balance it out, and you immediately get this kind of comical look out of it.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um,
I
yeah, and
think it's very um I think the book is really good to explain that you can decompose very complex shapes and articulation movement on the facial in a
mhm.
very simple like this curve, these three structures, and when they talk about this how they call the rugby ball shape.
Yeah, exactly. If you open up the mouth, it's
Yes.
just perhaps you can so
Yeah.
you have one curve here,
Yes.
and then you dial in the second curve here and the second curve there, and then you got
Yes. They
your ball.
have. Yeah, and but if you extrapolate the philosophy and any
Mm-hmm.
other part of rigging, it's really, really good to like you can if you can apply this like concept of simplifying things to the minimum and
Mm-hmm.
recombining back on top of one of the other and getting more complex behaviors and structures. I think it's a very powerful concept in general.
Definitely, it was some kind of mind changer when I I heard about it the first time, but I never thought about simplifying a mouth shape in those
Yes.
3 more or less, yeah, curves. So that was really good. I would recommend it to anybody. Um, yeah, so that's yeah, I opened it up because of the set-driven key setup exactly. So um, all those values are stored then and can be exported. So if you rebuild your rig the second time and set your files up correctly, it picks it up. And the next time you build your rig, you have the whole thing in your hand, more or less. I started in 2014. I don't know when M-Gear started, but I didn't see it back then. I didn't know anything about
First
them.
release was Gear for Softimage was
Okay.
2010, I think, 11.
Okay.
And then the M Gear project was, I mean, Jeremy did the first alpha almost same year, like 2011, I think.
Okay.
But it was like kind of forgotten there, like in the world of open source tools and things like that. And I took over in 2013, but oh my, I should know that. I don't remember when it was at first, but maybe it was first release 2000. I don't remember. Sorry.
But I think I didn't stumble over it back then. So if I
No,
would,
maybe.
I might have not written it by myself. But I mean, I learned ton of stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the real problems I have with my own setup is that compared to M Gear, where you have the build system, I mean the guide system, that's not the case here. So it's just an Maya skeleton file, which is used. So, for example, for the arm or the leg, you have the bones set up, and it's just getting imported. I mean, that's a big downside. So it's more or less just a Maya file. But on the other hand, you can prototype pretty quick, because if I don't, for example, for whatever reason, I need NURB surface ball as an sliding thing. I just put it into the skeleton file, inherit a simple FK module for the one handle, and then apply the logic for the sliding effect on the NURBS surface on top of it. So it's quite fast to prototype, but on the other hand, I would never open source something like that, because it's just, I mean,
no,
it is a little messy, you know what I mean? And yeah, that was the reason I wanted to rewrite it.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, it's open sourcing. It's scary. It's like,
yeah,
in this term, like but it's like I think I learned a lot by open sourcing stuff. Well, indeed, MGear was always open source, but like to try to maintain at the beginning, like it was like more soft image approach, and then I learned from Maya users that some things are not one-to-one translation, things like that, so changing stuff. So, and also like things like trying to do with other people, like to that exchange also, it helps a lot. Like you learn a lot. I mean, if you want to look at like as a learning experience, but at the same time, yeah, it can be sometimes I would say scary, because yeah, the if you did something and I just did this quickly or something like that, or it's good for me, but it's always different. But
yeah,
I will recommend totally, if you want to do it, don't be scared. Just go with the
Well,
flow.
then I definitely have to rewrite it first because I mean as I mentioned it was my first bigger Python project, so
Mm,
it is working pretty good. There are
mhm,
some flaws,
mhm,
um, but all in all, I mean it's getting things done, and
mhm,
in a small company like we are, with just you know me
mhm,
as a rigger,
mhm.
if you want to get a lot of characters done, you need to have
Yes,
something like
that's a
that.
must. Well, yeah, I mean, if
Um,
it's working and I mean, there is no like um whatever works for you, it's a good thing, you know.
yeah,
Like I think I always try to be pragmatic. There is no like black and white. It's just
yeah,
the right thing in the right moment.
yeah. But what I have to mention is Mark Jackson was in one of the podcasts as well, right? I think pretty at the big, one of the earlier
Yeah,
podcasts.
yeah, probably, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm using his meta
And the meta node
data
for
system. Yeah,
the Red
yeah,
9 pack. Yeah.
yeah. I'm using that extensively to be able to use Maya Node as classes and store information and stuff like
Mm,
that.
yeah.
So
That's great. Yeah.
so for the libs, for example,
Mm-hmm.
I have four different for every um, module or for every rigging
Mm-hmm.
part. There are some kind of node setups to store information and get them back
Mm-hmm.
later, like bind joints and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the libs with the set-driven key setup and stuff like that. That's where I get the information and use it later. And I think I mean, it's open source and it's really a great tool. I
Yes.
love it as well.
Yes, I didn't use it, and to be honest, I have to recheck it. I did check it time ago, but
Mm-hmm,
recently I've been doing some refactoring on M Gear and some stuff, and some of the tools we did was relying on the main conventions that we use,
mm-hmm.
and now we change it that the next release you will have options to configure any naming convention you want.
Oh, that's cool.
So, but the it this make it like a domino effect in some of the tools because now some of the tools that were relying on this uh, naming convention that we had, of
Mm.
course, they are not reliable anymore because there's
Yeah,
and then is when the metanode and connections start to flourish. And
yeah.
recently, I found myself doing like or like mini version of the metanode, like adding metadata and
Mm-hmm,
connections to have a more robust
mm-hmm.
like way to navigate the rigs without relying on the names of the nodes itself.
Yeah,
You know that, and of course the meta node it's giving data much more for you for free on open
exactly.
source.
Yeah,
For me, it was a bit late, I guess, to to implement it on my system, but yeah,
yeah. But
definitely.
the naming is one part which I am lacking here as well. So it's the naming convention is more or less set in stone.
Mm, I see.
And that's also something I would definitely um, create otherwise. I mean, naming is hard.
Yes, and I found I was trying to research on naming conventions, not like research, but more like talking with people and different studios and trying to find out which kind of naming conventions they use. And
Hmm.
there's a whole world out there. Some
Yeah.
you can discuss or not, that's if good or not. But I didn't try to judge anything. I
Hmm.
just take it like, okay, if I wanted people use MKR or for different pipelines, what they
Hmm.
need, what they want, what they have already in place, and how we'll fit that on that ecosystem or that uh, already place that it's ready done in. And yeah, it's a world. It's a and it's hard. Some I don't. I mean, some naming conventions are very difficult to match without uh I don't know how to say like this, like some naming conventions are very well done for a specific pipeline, but
Mm-hmm.
if you try to generalize, sometimes it's hard to handle all like name clashing and things like that
Yeah,
with this.
definitely.
Yeah, it's yeah. I've been, I mean, last year I've been almost a whole year like on that area.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's it's funny because I guess most people are like, oh well, okay, I can rename now the structure,
Mm-hmm.
but the work which stands behind such a big change within the
Yes,
tool, I mean, it's
yes. For
yeah.
in and it was not that difficult to. I mean, um, for Ingira, I mean, I thought the beginning will be like easier.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, like well, everybody thinks everything is gonna be easier than like it turns out, but the um the I mean to change this, I mean to set the rules and all this thing was the easiest part. So oh cool, I
Mm-hmm.
can change the name. And then there was a lot of, I realized how much I was relying on my naming conventions,
Mm-hmm.
on how much things I break by doing
Yeah.
that. So the change the name was the easy part. The other part was to make everything work
Work. Yeah.
consistently after the name is changed. And that
Yeah.
was, yeah. But if you
Yeah,
don't need,
I haven't checked out M-Gear now and didn't do anything with it right now, but that's on my to-do list for this year as well to dig into that.
oh,
Perhaps I'll just skip the rewriting of my system then and just
uh, well,
go on with
it
M-Gear
scares
now.
me always. Like, don't do that. You can check and, but yeah, if I think if you have a system that works for you, I mean, it's nice. But yeah, if of course, I mean, if you want to restart from scratch, I always even for myself is what I apply. It's something out there that it's gonna serve you well, and
Yeah.
it's what you need. I'm not gonna. I can not gonna write it. I mean, it, that's why I started like or like continue with them gears when I changed from soft image to Maya. The
Mm-hmm.
first thing I did was search what was there, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't find anything open source or pay that was satisfying my needs. So
Yeah.
that's, I think. But yeah, there's a lot of nice projects, and although I think they're more also open source or not open source but available rigging systems soon,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of interesting. I I will I think there will be much more work to choose soon.
Yeah. Yeah, but on the other hand, it's fun to just re-evaluate the current system and think about, okay, that was nice, that worked really great, that was crap,
Mhm.
and try to, yeah, make a better version out of it. So,
Definitely.
but it's always, yeah, a little time consuming.
Yes, a little. I I always I don't know but I'm terrible to calculating the times for especially for developing. It's super hard sometimes like to give an estimation. I think that's the reason because systems like Scrum or like Agile
Mm,
it's uh I mean it's very popular because in real life like some of I don't know you but maybe I'm very slow. I always I know that, but I was planning to finish one thing in May and still in February. I mean January and didn't finish yet. So
yeah, yeah. I'm. I think I'm pretty decent now in estimating the time for rigging, so
oh.
that's good.
Mhm,
I that's I mean that's I think that's
mhm. Yeah,
After years, you get better and better.
yeah,
But
but
with
vegan,
developing,
yeah,
it's the
exactly.
same for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there are some little problems just you you fall into, and it's
Mhm.
like, oh, I have no idea how to do that, and then you have to research a lot. And
Mhm.
if perhaps as you are a self-taught scripting guy as well, and me too, and if that's not your main job to script every day,
Mhm.
I think, yeah, you're just slower than somebody who
Yes.
is just doing
Yes.
that. And
I have friends that you get probably depressed and pro like unfit to do work when you sit close to these people. Like
mm,
completely like inappropriate. Like I don't know. You feel miserable. it's it's like yes, like real engineer developer. It's like it's like
that's a
magic.
different
Yeah.
mindset
Yeah.
at
Yeah. Yeah.
all. Then I guess, yeah, yeah,
Yes.
it's absolutely true. Mm.
Yeah. I don't know if
Um,
you have ever sit close to one, but it's tough. It's tough for you for your dignity.
but hey, we have other
Yeah. Yeah. Of
other
course.
stuff we can do really great.
Yeah. We can do many things. Like I
Yeah,
say, like apprentice of everything, master of none, or something like that.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
uh, well, um, what can I show you? That was
Did
one
well.
of the dual characters. Yeah, I mean that's just clicking a button and letting the script do its job. So it's not really, there's nothing.
It's boy. It's
Yeah,
really
fast forward, do it. Come,
it's really
the magic
nice.
happens,
And
and
the
there
short I
is.
guess is already finished and it was
Yeah, it is. It is finished. Yeah, but
uh,
it was really fun
it's
to.
online the short film by the way? Or it's
Yeah, it should be. Just a second. Where can I get back here? I have it linked here somewhere.
well I will add it later on the video
Yeah,
on the
I
podcast
can send you the
description.
link. Yeah.
Yeah, I will add your website and the link.
Hmm.
It's really nice
Yeah.
and it
It
was
was
done in
fun.
your yeah it was on
It,
your studio where you did it or it was like
no,
more
no, no.
between
That was
friends
free time. That was free time
free
at
time.
all. Yeah.
That's really nice.
So
Really like
yeah,
the style.
yeah.
The art direction is
And
beautiful.
Tim Ruda, the director, he was really cool, and he was there. I mean, everybody was doing it as a side project,
Hmm.
and a lot of the time, what my experience with side project is that you invest time, and you have the feeling that the people who are responsible,
Hmm.
they are just wasting your time. And
Mm.
it was the exact opposite on this project. He was always there for question 24 hours more or
Hmm.
less, and that was really really fun. And the platform Atella, it's not free for indie projects anymore. I think I
Hmm.
read something about that, but it was really cool
Hmm.
as
Yeah, I
a
lost track
collaborative
on
platform.
Artella. I tried to use for something from one of my projects. That's the reason because I know that. But then
Hmm.
I didn't use it at all, and well, I didn't finish the project. Of course, I didn't anything.
Hmm.
And I lost track. It's still, I mean, still running. Artella still exists.
It is running, I think, but it's not. I think it was completely free for indie
Mm-hmm.
projects
Mm-hmm.
back then when this clip was done, and I think it's not anymore. But I'm not 100% sure.
I will have to check that one.
Mm,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
And you working in anything new now? Like, do you like another like um collaborative project or a part of your daily work, like on the
No, not
office?
not not right now. The what I'm doing beside work is the last month I was investigating RAS at home,
Mm.
and try to evaluate if it's something we can use at our studio. And it was thumbs up. So now I'm bringing it back to the studio
Yeah,
and implement it there.
I think Marcus Ottosson did the you know him, it's a
Yeah.
friend. He did this for us. It's called All Sparks, and I
Yeah.
think it's a res manager. Do you know the project?
He wrote his own fork on res. It's bleeding res, I think.
Um,
Um, and
I'm sorry,
the
I'm not 100% sure, but yes, I think yeah, probably it's that
I
one.
looked into that as well. It's pretty cool. Um, um, and I thought to use this at first in our studio,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I'll just write a little tool
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
myself to put it in the taskbar and just
Okay.
get the projects and the
Yeah.
DCCs you're needing to handle it
Yeah, because
a
All
little
Spark was a
smaller.
collaboration with our studio Anima and
Mm-hmm.
Marcus. So
Yeah.
it was
No,
indeed
that's pretty cool.
the icon. It's related
Oh, I
to my
see.
current company. Well, all icon. We changed the
Okay.
logotype now. So
Yeah. So you are using Res at your studio completely, or?
we are in the in the works. But
Oh, okay. Yeah.
but yeah, we will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think. I don't know.
Cool.
I should ask someone on the pipeline part, but yes, maybe we are using it. I don't know.
Okay, but
Yeah,
that's
maybe
best
we're
if you don't
using it.
notice it.
Uh, I'm this kind of clueless in there. I mean, sorry.
One of the developers seeing this from your studio is like,
it's gonna tell me something. Yeah.
yeah.
I know. I think we using REST because I remember, or if not using it, we will use it for sure because I
Okay, I
remember
see.
to see some stuff
Okay,
about REST. Yeah,
okay.
I
Well,
ignorance is my guilty.
um, yeah. I
That
mean, that was just a really
was really
quick.
cool. Yeah, and so and that's maybe how long have we have been talking? Well, it's just we hit
Oh,
1 hour mark, man. That
mm-hmm.
goes fly, huh? The time.
Yeah.
It's very
I'll unshare my screen, I guess, right?
yeah. You can. I mean, it's nice picture. I don't mind if you keep
Yeah.
it, but
I mean,
it's
we
up to
leave it
you.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can
up to
leave it
you.
there.
It's but the thing is I think the the other topic that I wanted to talk with you, and it's more like not extremely for rigging, but I guess for everybody. And it's like, how do you handle the work life balance? And because on or like being like so rigger or technical person, technical artist, I don't know. There is so many titles for our job, like because
Yeah.
we I mean, still something in flux, I think, what we do all the time.
Yeah.
So we
Definitely.
have to learn, like you said, like right, studying this, keep always learning and see. But you have also family, and
Mm-hmm.
how do you balance? Do you have any like advice or anything to people like with kids and family and social life, and
Oh
hopefully
yeah, that was
after
fun.
COVID even more?
um, I think I don't know if it was the same for you, but I was so naive
Uh-huh.
when we had our girl. I thought I had 1 whole year parental leave, so I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, I can do really a lot of stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
I know it will be hard, but I'm not the person who needs tons of hours of sleep, so I thought that would be okay.
Oh.
But then, well, life happened, and the girl, Hannah is her name. She wasn't the best sleeper,
Uh-huh.
and she always wanted attention. So
Uh-huh.
there was no ability to just lie her down and do something,
Oh, wow.
some work or something
Yeah.
in between.
Uh-huh.
So unless she wasn't sleeping,
Mhm.
you were occupied with doing stuff with her,
Uh-huh.
entertaining her,
Mhm.
walking with her. Otherwise, she was just starting to scream or something like that. And in the first 1 or 2, 3 months, I was a little um, sad about that, because I was like, I wanted to do so many things.
Mhm.
But I mean, then I just realized, okay, well, parental leave is there to just take time off from work,
Mhm.
and I accepted that. And I mean, she's fun. It was a great year,
Mhm.
um, and I don't miss anything. But the only thing was, like, I was just too naive to think that I could do stuff
Mm.
uh,
Yeah.
in the time. So I think, because you talked about life work balance,
Mhm.
currently it's more like work child balance.
What is life? What?
Yeah.
What life?
I mean,
Yeah.
it just changes completely,
Mm.
and it is good as it is, and it's fun. But yeah, well, slightly, she's uh, she's sleeping better at night,
Mhm.
so now I'm able to sit in front of the computer
Mhm.
uh, until
Uh,
midnight,
oh.
and be able to not be a zombie in the morning, because
Mm.
beforehand she woke up, I don't know, so many
Ah.
times during
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
And I more or less, we just started to go to bed when she got to bed, just to
Mhm.
get the hours of sleep we needed.
Mhm. I see.
And that is slightly going better now, so I can start doing something, side projects again in my free time, because well, that's my hobby, more or less,
Yeah, that's
doing 3D stuff.
yes, that's one of the always it's hard to balance life when your hobby and your work is the
Yeah,
same thing, and yeah, it's something hard to cut.
yeah, but
Uh,
do I have an advice?
and do you manage to quit 3D all the time? You didn't had any like just a little to open to do something like
Within this year, you mean?
yeah on the
I,
parental
I
leave.
I just quitted it more or less completely. I did
Wow.
some days um, to help out at our studio.
Mm-hmm.
If they needed desperately somebody, I was there
Mm-hmm.
then. But the rest of the time, it was like, okay, just,
Wow.
well, I read things online, but I didn't sit at the computer, more or less.
Wow.
Uh,
I felt like because my memory is so horrible, I will be scared to don't touch the computer for a long time. I think I will
yeah,
forget a lot of stuff. Didn't haven't do you feel like a little rusty or like
yeah,
it was
definitely.
hard to go back to like
Definitely. The first day at work, I think I was lucky, because the first project
mhm,
I came back to was just layout
mhm,
animation. So I can just, create a new nice camera angle, put stuff in there, just do the
mhm,
staging, more or less, for the characters. And
mhm,
I think that was a amazing entrance back into work,
mhm. I
because
see.
it was fun being back at work and
Mhm,
getting other other inputs
mhm,
than just a child. And so yeah, I was rusty, definitely.
mhm.
um, I
Yeah.
mean, but it's like it's like riding the bike, you
Oh yeah.
know.
Yeah, yeah.
After 1 week,
I I
it was
I
okay as well.
well, I have kids well, I I I didn't take parental leave in
Hmm.
with my 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 son. I was just exchange company when he born,
Hmm.
and I couldn't take more than a week or something, and it also
Hmm.
was just um short after we came to Japan, so it was like a bit of convoluted for and for my daughter I think I took few more days, but here, well, it's not, you know, depending on the country, there's different culture, and here, the I mean, it, normally the mother it does take the parental leave, but the father it's like just a few days. And even here it's strange compared to at least to Spain. I don't know in Germany how it's, but here the first week the mother stay at the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Even if delivery everything went well, they stay 1 week in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So the parent it's just like you go there, and but you cannot stay that long. You cannot stay definitely at night or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So normally the first week the people keep working, and it's the second week when the baby goes home when the parent take the
Okay.
it's kind of strange. I found it. So my experience on that it's not the same, of course. The but in terms of forgetting stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of experience on that. I'm very good,
Mm-hmm.
and I always find like especially when I don't do something for a long time, it's yeah, relearning some software, some stuff like several times.
Mm.
It's a common like I did
Yeah, definitely.
learn like Substance Painter to do some cost personal stuff,
Yeah.
and I didn't use it for 1 year, and then I open it again to do something else. I said, oh, wait, was that how it works this software? Why?
Yeah, yeah. It's just you can start over again, more or less, then, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
But
No,
that can be fun. And how do you? So you are more like an night person, you will say,
yeah,
like
I would say that. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
lucky
Well,
you.
yeah, it's the mornings are hard.
How you say like this? I don't know how to call it in English. The night owl or morning something. It's another
Yeah.
animal they call it. I don't
I
remember.
don't recognize as well. Yeah, but the night owl is more my
Uh,
part, definitely.
yeah, I try it both, and I'm more like a morning
Yeah.
person. Yes, it's horrible to get up of the bed, but
Mhm.
I can like kickstart quickly and
Mhm.
maybe brush my teeth, coffee in 15 minutes. I'm just full steam. Like,
Okay.
but
No,
at night,
that's not.
yeah, at night I'm just so tired that I barely can do anything. So
Yeah, I think the problem of the lack of sleep is the thing that troubled me the most.
Uh, but you say that you don't need to sleep too much. I mean, you handle pretty
Well,
well the.
I can handle a short amount of sleep, but not those interrupted things. If
Ah,
the baby wakes up every 2 hours, something
yeah.
like that.
That's the first
Um,
month. It's hard.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So that was my problem.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and
You did like breastfeed or you did like formula or because we did half,
yeah,
and remember my wife did the breastfeed. Obviously,
yeah,
I'm not capable of these things. And but when I remember like at the first month, like stumbling on the kitchen just to prepare, I everything was prepared the formula and everything,
yeah,
but I was like, like the movies, like throwing things on the floor, super noisy, nah, and so like it's super hard, like and yeah, when you do one, yeah, but that I remember the first month, every yeah, it's 2 hours or every like
yeah. I mean, with my family there is a difference as well because I was not the birth mother. My wife gave birth to Hannah,
oh,
so I'm the co-mother. I think that's the term
uh-huh,
you call it, and I just recently adopted her,
uh-huh,
just a month ago or something, because
ah,
it
yeah, the legal
takes
thing,
takes time. Yeah, so I was more like the from not being able to breastfeed, I was more like the dad,
uh
more or less. But in Germany, that they don't make any difference if you're two moms or
Ah,
one
that's
mom
but that's
and
amazing.
and the dad. So I was able to take the parental leave for the whole year, and my wife did just the first 2 months.
Oh,
So
so
after
you
those,
take the oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
nice.
So she gave birth, was at home for 2 months,
Mm-hmm.
um, got her started,
Wow. Oh,
and
in 2 months,
I took
it's
over
hard,
then.
huh?
Yeah, and I think that was hard for my wife as well because she wanted to get back to work quite quickly,
Mm-hmm.
but I think she wouldn't do it again that quickly. I mean, it's
Yeah,
yeah,
it must be. I mean, if, after 2 months, it's very short. I think it's
yeah.
hard, and
So
yeah, but it's cool that you can. I think I don't know. Here in Japan, I'm not sure you can exchange the role. Like if it's not the mother, the parent can
mhm,
take the parental leave. In To be honest, I'm not sure. In Canada, my son born in Canada, so it's different
mhm.
laws. And in Spain, I don't have a clue. Maybe in
Okay,
Spain it's more European, and I will not be surprised that also in Canada
yeah,
it's. But in I don't know. I have to Google it. But
yeah.
it's really nice that you can take the whole year one of the
Yeah,
other.
that was, and you
Yeah.
get more months if you split it. If you're just one parent takes the whole time, it's just a year,
Mm.
and if you split it, you get 2 extra months, more or less.
That's great because
Yeah.
that I think it's in Sweden where they have a really nice parental leave, uh, like and many in many couples, yeah, it's the parent who stays in many situations. What I see, other countries it's more like machist, I will say, where
Mm-hmm.
it's normally the mother who has the rights to, and the father, even if they want to exchange, maybe the mother is the person who would have the income at the house or something like that, but they
Yeah.
don't can. And if the husband is always the housekeeper, they don't support that well, that in some
Yeah.
countries, that's. But it's
Yeah.
great in Germany that they have this kind of.
Yeah. That's really great. Yeah.
I Yeah, and to be honest, I I wish I had that, like exchange or like more time when my kid's born. That's something that, yeah, it's one time in the life. Or
Yeah, and it's a great experience, really. And you're getting so many different inputs, and you
Mhm.
change your
Yeah,
mindset with them, and
yeah,
because
yeah.
it's completely different
Mm.
life. No work,
Yeah.
but you have work with the kids, so I mean it's not free time.
Mhm.
Um, but you get other stuff in your head. So that was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, talking about that, I felt like some regrets now, but yeah, I guess no choice, I guess. Well, maybe move to Germany to live.
Yeah, I mean
Next.
it's nice here.
Yeah, no, and where are you based in Munich, I think it's, or
It's Cologne.
and Cologne. Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, nice, nice. I Yeah, I really like Germany. We really like Berlin. We've been a few times there. That's
Mhm.
really nice city. I really like the vibe there, and I know that each city is different, but in Cologne I never been there, so I don't know. I don't know the
It's way
city.
smaller
Way
than
smaller,
Berlin, but people are a little bit, I would say, nicer.
and people live in Berlin is very nice. I
Yeah, but they
don't know
can
what
be
you're talking.
grumpy.
Really?
They can be really grumpy.
Oh, I don't know.
And yeah, Cologne
My
is the city of
experience.
Carnival, so I think they inherit this spirit of
Uh,
let's dance together and have fun and be open-minded, and so
well,
that's
I think you described Berlin for me.
yeah,
Unless my
yeah,
experience was super nice, the times I've been there, I had friends there, of course. So
yeah. I mean,
um,
it's just how you call it if there is pre-assumption, if you're putting everybody in one bucket and say they're like that or they're like
Yeah,
that.
the pre-assumptions, or yeah, like stereotypes. Yeah.
Stereotypes, yeah, and
Yeah.
one of the stereotypes of Berlin is that it's a little cold-hearted compared to Cologne, but I mean it's a nice city. I like it there as well.
Mm.
But to live, it's for me it's better in Cologne.
Yeah, I just yeah, Cologne is more south. It's a bit uh like weather. It's how is the weather there? I'm sorry, I'm
It's pretty warm
warm. Okay.
compared to the rest of Germany because it's in some kind of special climate
Oh,
thing
nice.
because of the river and
Then
stuff like
I
that.
have to
So
visit then. Yeah,
yeah, so it's
definitely.
almost Mediterranean here.
Nice. That you okay? I'm sold. I'm going. No, in Berlin I love it, but it's. I think I spent my last I don't know, say that my last mm, power of resistant cold in when I
Hmm.
was in Montreal. So now all my cold resistance it's gone, and I
Okay,
just freezing all the time. Just
okay.
so I cannot deal with snow anymore. I think it's done for me.
Yeah, most of the time, also snow in Cologne is very unusual. We had we had snow this morning, but it was like,
Oh.
what the hell? What
In
the hell
Spain,
happened?
it's very cold. Also, this week was very snow in Madrid, and I have friends in
Yeah,
Madrid. It was calling, show me the window, and it looked like I say, it looks like Montreal now.
yeah, they could ski on the streets.
Yeah, yeah, more was kind of skating more,
Yeah,
more than skiing, but yeah, pretty dangerous actually.
yeah,
This
definitely.
city is not ready for this, so
No,
it's a
yeah.
chaos. But yeah, I think yeah, it's maybe a nice wrap here. Uh,
Hmm.
was really nice to talk with you, Sophia.
Yeah, I
I
had
really
fun.
appreciate to take the time, and I know we had yeah we have been talking about doing this for a long time actually. It was
Yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah. It was. I think you asked me just b- just at the beginning that I went back to work,
I don't
something
know,
like that.
few months for
What?
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, let's see how
No.
that goes first, and to be able to settle in again and stuff. And
Yeah, I
but
was.
it's all getting
Yeah.
together now.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. I had fun.